We can all now see that our money doesn't go as far as it once did. Since 2010, the average American family's purchasing power has decreased by over 35%. And as we start a new year, prices are rising even faster. It's predicted that there will be inflation and financial hardship. The cost of living in the United States has never been higher, and the price of necessities keeps rising. Our incomes remain unchanged, and the ongoing recession's threat of job losses has returned. In this video, we will talk about 15 things the average American family can't afford anymore. But before that, please like, subscribe, and click the bell button for the latest economic updates. Now let's get started. Here are 15 things the average American family can't afford anymore. Number 1. The cost of a home and monthly mortgage payments are over 40% higher now than they were a year ago. And the trend is anticipated to continue through 2023 as the Fed announced it will continue its monetary tightening policy until inflation is subdued, according to new research from Atom Data Solutions. Buying a home was still in the midst of one of the biggest housing bubbles in history, and even though prices are crashing in some pandemic hotspots. Number 2. Renters appear to be struggling just as much, but their precarious situation is even worse with unemployment rates rising and a recession at our doorstep. A wave of evictions is anticipated to happen in 2023. Affordable housing problems will regrettably stay with us for quite some time, and many hard-working people out there are already in danger of becoming homeless. Roughly 51 million households don't earn enough to afford rent, according to a study released. Number 3. Grocery price hikes. If you believe that crucial inflation would reach its peak in 2022, you may not have heard that major food corporations announced double-digit price increases on their products just before the year ended. Starting this month, many staples will increase in price, which means that struggling Americans will experience more hardship. The most recent Gallup survey found that 24% of Americans only bought necessities or made other sacrifices to get by, with 56% of Americans reporting financial difficulties as a result of rising grocery prices. Number 4. Budget constraints for travel also mean that most families won't be able to travel as much or at all this year. In fact, according to a winter travel survey from Hobbs, about 33 million American families won't be able to travel this winter because they can't afford it. Rising unemployment rates and deteriorating economic conditions don't change that. According to Outlook analysts, most households are experiencing financial strain as a result of the ongoing increase in interest rates. Number 5. Having a summer break for the majority of parents. The summer break is a logistical and financial nightmare, and in 2023 it won't be any different. Schools typically take a 10 to 11 week break over the summer with the assumption that there is one parent waiting at home for the kid. But that should be true for less than a quarter of Americans, even with the improvement in work and home arrangements for the remaining 75% of Americans. Number 6. Diapers. More than 90% of American families use disposable diapers, according to the New York Times, but at least a third of American families struggle to afford enough diapers for their children. Given that price increases are expected, it will be even more difficult for parents to afford this necessary product in 2023. Currently, a pack of diapers at Stop & Shop for 28 units costs $10 per pack. This doesn't include baby wipes, which cost $15.99 per case. Number 7. Having babies. Falling birth rates are a reflection of the fact that raising a child in America has never been more expensive. In fact, since 2008, the U.S. birth rate has been declining, dampening even more after the pandemic broke out. Because raising a family today is so expensive, having children has become a privilege in today's society, according to Business Insider, which reports that since 2020 we've seen the lowest birth rate since 1979. We can understand why people are becoming so cautious about this, because right now kids are so expensive in an economy that's only getting more expensive. Number 8. Eating out. According to Matt Schultz, Landing Tree's chief credit analyst, eating out is a luxury that we sorely missed during the worst of the pandemic. As a result, when money is tighter than usual at home, as it has recently due to inflation, eating out may be one of the first expenses to be cut. According to a recent survey by the firm, 85% of Americans say that inflation has changed how they plan to eat out in 2022. According to a survey conducted by New York Life, many families intend to reduce their restaurant spending this year. Of those polled, 45% said that the rising cost of living will cause them to eat out less in the upcoming months. Number 9. Car repairs. Considering buying a new car, Americans struggle to pay for even basic car maintenance. Over 40% of American households claim that they are unable to afford the necessary car repairs because the average family is so financially strapped. 42.5% of American drivers say they wouldn't be able to afford a $1,000 car repair today. Additionally, a quarter of drivers say they've put off maintenance and repairs on their cars over the past year because of the tough economy. Number 10. Utility bills. According to the Energy Information Administration, utility bill costs will increase by 33% this winter, but even before that increase, 39% of American families paid a bill after it was due last quarter, and 61% of them said they didn't pay on time because they simply didn't have enough money to cover the cost. Additionally, 1 in 5 households said they will have to reduce or forego food in order to pay for goat medicine and forego other expenses. Number 11. Make credit card payments. Credit card balances are growing as more families use them to make ends meet, but the highest interest rates in 15 years and high inflation continue to make it difficult for them to pay off their debt. 75% of Americans have missed credit card payments since September 2022, according to a Forbes advisor and one poll survey. A staggering 43% of respondents said they missed or paid late because they needed the money for essentials, while another 27% said they were unable to pay because of unforeseen expenses. Given that this is the case, it comes as no surprise that 40% of cardholders find interest rates to be the most frustrating aspect of using credit cards. Number 12. In a sharp contrast to the food stockpiling trends that dominated much of 2020 and 2021, many families won't be able to stock up on food this year. The majority of households with incomes over $100,000 say they won't be stockpiling pantry essentials this year because they are currently living paycheck to paycheck, and another 29 say they are having trouble keeping up with expenses, according to Credit Karma research. Number 13. Fill their tanks. Despite being nearly 1.40 cents lower than the peak of over $5 per gallon in June 2022, gas prices are still historically high, and industry experts warn that a fuel shortage will cause them to skyrocket this winter. The Washington Post reports that 44% of drivers only partially filled their gas tanks this holiday season. And for drivers making less than $50,000 a year, the share increased by 61 percentage points from the same time last year. Several East Coast states are reporting gas shortages, and it's likely that as supplies continue to decline, these shortages will spread across the nation. Number 14. An unexpected expense. According to data from the Federal Reserve, there is a 39.8% chance that the average family today would not be able to pay a $500 surprise expense with saving. According to Greg McBride, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Analyst at Bankrate, savings below the threshold of $500 are actually a sign of how much people are struggling and how close to the breaking point they are financially. Around 12% of Americans couldn't cover an unexpected $500 bill at all. Number 15. The high cost of living makes it difficult to afford a lifestyle in America today. Food, energy, and housing prices are frequently rising, pushing even the most basic cars and cities out of reach at the same time. Inflation is at its highest level since the 1970s, and the interest rate is at its highest level since 2008. In addition, according to a report by Experian, 29% of respondents said they expect they will barely be able to make ends meet this year. Around the same percentage also predicted that their spending would likely exceed their budget in the months ahead. People are finding it difficult to figure out how to deal with these challenges. The challenge is that this necessitates them to deplete their savings and their safety net, and that can cause other problems, as explained by Rod Griffith, the Senior Director at Experian. So, what's your takeaway from this video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, peace.